Feynman, senior Washington correspondent and political columnist of Newsweek magazine. All right, we'll try this again. Has in this revelation here, no matter which definition, the Panetta definition as Panetta says, or the Panetta definition as these six representatives say, has Speaker Pelosi been vindicated in the process?
Yes, because if you parse the statement of denial by the CIA last night carefully, as you did at the top of the show, Keith, they say it is not our policy or our practice to mislead the Congress. Well, that's, anybody who knows bureaucratese here in Washington knows that's a full admission. They're saying there are many times when we did just that. And sure, yes, it is. Now, Nancy Pelosi's a political person. You don't want to cross her. She and Leon Panetta have had at it politically. This is a showdown on Highway 1 in California between Monterey and San Francisco. But yes, she's been vindicated. No question about it.
What about this second point here? And Congressman Holt was I think he was specifically being emphatic that it's process and structure that concern him most. But between the Panetta testimony and what Congressman Holt said and what Congressman Eshoo said, and the idea of the brakes suddenly being jammed on some sort of secret program, does that suggest we have another unexploded scandal brewing, or is it undiscovered debris from a previous one coming, or what is it?
Well, that was the big speculative game on the Hill today when I was calling around, Keith. Nobody's sure. It sure sounds like to staffers that I talked to that there is something else, that there's some program that Panetta found out about that he put a halt to, that the members of Congress don't know about or were just very recently informed of. So there's that. Panetta wants to protect himself, saying, hey, I just learned about this myself. There may be an investigation now by the House committee or some House group, or maybe a congressional-wide one, because Harry Reid, the Democratic leader in the Senate, is concerned about this as well. Then there's the matter of money. Don't forget, the CIA is in a bureaucratic war with other intelligence entities within the administration. This is also about money. This is about funding. This is about Leon Panetta, a former member of the House, and a former chief of staff and budget director, et cetera, being a very wily Washington guy, wanting to protect his own institution by fessing up before it's too late.
The political structures in this are so unusual here. The White House is threatening to veto this new legislation that we were speaking to Congressman Holt about. Are they essentially asking Congress, once again, just trust President fill in the blank, and is that going to fly this time?
Well, I don't think it's going to fly entirely, because it has been for several years now, predating Speaker Pelosi's recent fights with Panetta. A lot of people in Congress, Harry Reid, Pelosi, others, even their predecessors, saying that you can't have this sort of Las Vegas magic act where, the CIA briefers come in and they say, let me show you the cards, we'll show you for a few seconds, and only show the top leaders of Congress and the ranking and chairs of the House Intelligence and Senate Intelligence Committees. Those people aren't the ones down in the nitty-gritty who really know the right questions to ask the CIA briefers. So there is a pretty strong case for expanding the number of people who are briefed by at least a few. And it's hard to see why the Obama administration, other than their just sort of blind desire to protect all the prerogatives of the presidency, why they would object to that, especially since Barack Obama ran on a theme of transparency. Now, nobody's stupid. We don't want to spread secrets all around a very porous Capitol Hill. But this isn't really, from what I can tell, the briefings that they give are barely briefings at all. And as I say, sort of just like showing the cards for a half a second in a magic act.
I was just thinking, remember the old TV game show, Concentration, with Bill Cullen, where they'd show you the board with the clue on it, and then in about 9 seconds turn all the numbers over again, and you were supposed to guess where the matches were, and then guess the clue. It really is.
That's the way it seems to these people, and I think they have a point.
Howard Feynman of MSNBC and Newsweek bearing with us also with the technical problems in D.C. tonight. Again, it's CIA discussions, just a coincidence. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Keith.
Speaking of concentration and the switch, the cornerstone of the cascade of words expended by the lame duck governor of Alaska about her resignation turns out in terms of truth